Hey guys, what's up? This is KILLcRey, hip hop artist and futurist, and this is my show where I discuss culture, music, and big ideas with very little small talk. This is Think Tank. So today we are talking about a topic that affects a lot of performing artists, especially in their early careers, and that's pay to play. And it is what it sounds like. You are paying to perform and play on stage. You're buying a spot on stage, renting more realistically. So what it is the promoter sells an opening spot for exchange of a certain amount of money, usually translated into a certain amount of tickets. But there is a bottom line price that the promoter has already figured out in their head that they would like to get from the sale of the tickets that you are going to sell as an opener. So what that spot is worth has already been determined, and then sometimes that's broken down into tickets, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can just buy the spot outright, but a lot of the times when I'm speaking to artists, they're confused about the type of pay-to-play where you have to sell tickets. Some of them go like, well, I don't want to sell tickets because it's embarrassing. Well, that's not the right way to look at it, first of all. You don't have a ticket master working for you. So there's no ticket office selling your tickets. Someone has to sell them. Unfortunately, that has to be you. But that's not the case in this situation. Let's not focus on that topic. That's a whole nother video. What we're talking about right now is you selling tickets in exchange for a spot on stage. Usually the way you end up on the bill for that show is determined by who of the openers have sold their tickets first. That's honestly how they usually come up with that. Usually the spot is for a 10 to 15 minute set, more likely the latter, because that's usually about the standard time. And that can be anywhere, depending on the headliner, that can be anywhere from 10 tickets, maybe like at $100 worth of tickets, all the way to I've seen $1,000, $5,000 worth of tickets are just the flat fee. Again, depending on the headliner, depending on the show, depending on the venue, depending on the demand for that ticket. A lot of the times the promoters will allow the openers to make some money off those tickets. And that's not a bad thing, but usually it's no more than a small percentage of the overall ticket sale. So say it's $20, you might make $5 off of every ticket sale. So technically you're selling those tickets. The worth of those tickets is only $15, but they're adding an extra $5 to that ticket price so that you can make money as an opener. A lot of the times that's how it's sold to the openers as, hey, this is a great chance for you to make money and you're going to get to perform in front of your favorite artist or whoever the headliner is. So let's talk a little bit about what can be expected, what you shouldn't expect from a pay-to-play situation. Usually it's just a set time sometime before the headliner. Usually that's the only guarantee. And maybe the length of your set, 10 to 15 minutes. That's usually what you know ahead of time. What is not guaranteed is individual promotion. What I mean by that is the venue nor the promoter nor the headliner have to promote you as an individual act. That's usually not part of that discussion. People pay PR companies and marketing companies thousands of dollars to do that. They're not going to do that for the exchange of 20 tickets to a show that might sell out anyways, with or without you. So nope, no individual promotion. You might get your name on the tickets. I've seen that play a lot where promoters will put the name of the opener on their tickets. And it's mostly a good way just to keep track of who sold the most tickets. But they also know, being promoters, that when you sell those tickets to your friends and family, seeing your name on that makes it seem more legit, right? Your name's right next to the headliner. it looks like a bigger deal. Promoters know that. That's why they do that, to try to help you sell it. Something else you shouldn't think that is guaranteed in one of these situations is any access or time to or with the headliner at all. In fact, most of the time you won't even meet the headliner. You won't say a word to the headliner. They don't know that you're on the show. It's not something the headliners usually do. As they're rolling into your city, they're not checking to see who the early openers are on their set. They kind of trust the promoter to take care of that, curate that. Usually they might be bringing one supporting act, and that's all they really care about. They don't owe you some time with the headliner. That is not part of this. Also, you might not get a guest list. The promoter is assuming that you're probably going to sell those tickets to your friends and family. Anyways, you probably don't need a guest list. You don't need access to the green room. That's for the headliner. A lot of the times, none of those things are guaranteed. They can all be parts of it, but these are not guaranteed, and they are not things you should assume you get if you're doing a pay-to-play situation. Another one is any help with your live show. You're not going to get to use like the headliner's DJ or the sound guy or even the lights. Most of the time, that's a no-go for the openers. You just got to perform, bring someone to play your music, have your music formatted correctly. If you're bringing equipment, make sure you have all your plugs. None of that is the responsibility of the promoter or the venue to supply that for you. Again, you are simply renting a spot to do the thing that you do. Also, you are not guaranteed a spot on any of the main promotion for the concert. What I mean by that is there might be a poster, of the headliner. A lot of the times it may just say and local supporting acts or and local openers or and more. You might just be part of the and more. So no, don't go in there with any of those expectations that you're going to be treated like the headliner at all. That is not how this works. Again, you're just renting a spot. Now, when is pay to play okay? I'll say this right off the bat. For most artists who are starting out or trying to build a fan base, it's not good for you. In fact, I personally believe that the only time pay to play is really good for you is if you've already built some sort of fan base and maybe you are not on the radar of the promoter or the venue and you'd like to get on that radar, you'd like to get noticed by them so that they can see the work you're doing. You can pay to be on a show, sell tickets, and then don't just sell your 20 tickets, sell 100 tickets. Show that promoter, show that venue that you can pack this out. And then what will happen if the promoter is at least halfway honest is you'll never pay to play again, because forcing you to sell 20 tickets might scare you away from doing another pay to play show when they can just have you on the venue and know that you're going to bring in 100 people because 100 people are into your stuff. But again, you have to have a fan base. You have to have already done the work. Pay to play is in a way to cheat the system. It doesn't work. Think about any show you've ever been to. You spent that money to see the headliner. So anything before that is burning time before the headliner comes on. That's how most people see that. So that's not necessarily going to help you. You might not want to be placed in that category, the burning time category. It lowers your overall value. And I think that can be argued pretty soundly. So if you don't have the fan base yet and you're not ready, don't do pay to play. It's not going to benefit you. And if you are in a position to do it, make sure that the headliner matches your vibe, matches your aesthetic. Make sure you followed them a lot and you've done the research and you know that, hey, some of my music could fit onto a playlist with this artist. And thus, maybe me bringing all the people that like to see me and mixing them with the headliner's fans, that might get me some more attention. That might get me some more fans because people go, oh, this is an easy transition from the headliner to this person. I'd have them both on a playlist together. Make sure you've done that kind of research. For sure. And make sure the artist is big enough for you to be benefiting from that. You should not be doing a pay to play for a local act in a city where you live, whose fans you could, without doing that show, reach out to. That's just facts. You shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, that's pay to play. There is one other, I think there's another form that I am not so against, especially for newer artists, and that's a tour pay to play, known as buying on to a tour. And so what that is the headliner or the promoter, usually at this level, the people who are doing this, a lot of the times the headliners are booking their own shows. They're just headliners who've been able to book a tour route, and they need support because touring is expensive. It's hard. It's better to do it in a team a lot of the times. So what they'll do is curate a type of artist maybe they want to get on the tour that they feel could help the overall experience of the tour. And that's usually handled by booking someone and having those people pay a set amount. And that's usually that's not tickets. Usually that's a set amount of money, because what you are actually paying for is the administration of the tour. You don't have a booking agent. You didn't book the tour route. You didn't book the hotels. Because sometimes in these situations, that price to buy on the tour could include travel. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. And you're paying for the administration of that. And that's what that price is set on. Those are far better to do. They're usually more close-knit. In those situations, you will get time with the headliner normally. You might stay at the same hotel with them. Hell, you might be traveling with them, depending on what the deal was. Usually it's in their best interest that you have a good show. So a good promoter and a good headliner in a situation like that will try to get you to have a good show. Maybe that's letting you use their DJ or their light system, or but it's one of those win-win types of situations where if all of you win, everybody's going to do good on the tour. So they'll have a vested interest in you doing well. That's a far better investment. And what you should treat that as is music college. You should treat that as a class. You should learn everything about touring in a situation like that. You should talk to the headliner as much as possible. Talk to the bookers. You're going to see all these people every night of the tour. And keep a great attitude. Show that you're a hard worker. And maybe the next time they'll offer you a spot on there just because you travel good, because you put on a great show. And maybe they won't charge you as much. Or maybe you'll just have to pay for your hotel room next time and not, anything extra. You'll be able to sell your merch, because in normal pay to play, even selling merch isn't guaranteed. If they don't have a spot for you, you don't get to sell merch. So if you are going to spend some money for a show spot, I would definitely look to buy onto a tour. How can you do that? I don't look for people in your general area, who tour a lot, and let them know you'd like to invest in the tour by buying onto the spot. It's a really good way to learn about touring and live shows. You're going to get a lot of reps in front of audiences that you don't know. Unlike if you pay to play at home, these are people who, when you go to the bar, they're at the bar too. They can see you right down the street, where in these other cities, there's already a feeling of like, oh, this is an offering from another city. This person is not from here, and they're on this tour, so maybe I'm going to get something different. It will ignite some interest. And plus, touring is hard. Most people in art know that touring is hard, so that already says something about you. It's a good investment overall. And in that situation, I don't think you necessarily have to be that experienced. I would say that you have to have a good show, because you definitely don't want to be the low part of the tour. So have a great show, but go there to learn. You should be walking around those kind of tours with a notebook. You should have your stickers and your cards ready, your information to share with everybody on the tour. Learn from other artists how they sell merch, and how to cut corners on spending money. Learn the routes, learn the cheap hotels. All those kind of things. That's a good deal. Again, that's usually referred to as buying on. So hopefully this helps you. If you're thinking about doing pay to play, or you just needed some clarification on the topic, I, for one, searched the internet looking for more clarification on this topic, and I didn't see a whole lot out there. It's why I decided to make this video. So hopefully it helps you. If it did, please leave a comment. If it didn't, leave a comment. If you have more questions, leave a comment. I'll make sure to get back to you as quick as humanly possible. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, turn on the notifications, and you'll see when I drop my next video. And keep tuning in, man. I got a lot more coming. This is KILLcRey. I'll see you guys next time.